Hello everyone, Russ of Aquarimax Pets here. Today I'm going to be talking about these two different forms of Porcellio hoffmannseggi. The orange one is Porcellio hoffmannseggi orange, which is simply a color morph of the nominate form of Porcellio hoffmannseggi, which means the first form that was named, that received the species name. Porcellio hoffmannseggi black was discovered from a different location and differs in some respects. They're both beautiful isopods, great additions to the hobby, but let's just talk about how they differ from one another. One is in average size. I have found that Porcellio hoffmannseggi black, although it is a very large isopod, tends to be smaller on average than Porcellio hoffmannseggi, the nominate form. And you can see that here. I picked some fairly large specimens from my enclosures, and this is what you see. Now, under normal circumstances, I would not house them together. I'm only keeping them together for a short period for demonstration purposes. Another is that they both have different levels of dimorphism. The nominate form, which in this case is represented by an orange specimen, has much longer uropods in the males than in the females. You can see the uropods here at the tail end of the isopod, and they are quite long in relation to the body size, and in females they're much shorter proportionately. As you can see in this other specimen, and a quick glance at the underside of this specimen indicated that it was male, of the Porcellio hoffmannseggi black. It has much shorter uropods. It's very hard to tell Porcellio hoffmannseggi black specimens apart based on their uropod length, but that is not true of the nominate form, in which the males have much longer ones. The male Porcellio hoffmannseggi nominate form also has a much more elongate body than the females do. And again, this does not appear to be true with Porcellio hoffmannseggi black, at least not to such a noticeable extent. Another important difference is in the pattern. You'll notice that Porcellio hoffmannseggi black has quite a beautiful skirt around the edge of its body, but it does not have white stripes alongside each body segment, separating each body segment, or if it does, they're very thin. And in the nominate form, whether it's orange or chocolate or just the wild type gray, there is a bit of a white stripe, especially in the body segments near the head, nearest the head. You can see those are very visible. And the skirt itself is also wider, proportionally wider, and probably also lighter in color than in Porcellio hoffmannseggi black. And something else that I've noticed is that Porcellio hoffmannseggi black seems to respond better to high population densities than Porcellio hoffmannseggi, the nominate form. I can keep Porcellio hoffmannseggi black in fairly high densities without seeming to have a lot of problems with that, whereas Porcellio hoffmannseggi, the nominate form, tends to be more aggressive with individuals of its own species. And I've even seen, when I've had these here in this deli cup, a little bit of aggression initiated by the orange specimen against the black specimen. I'm trying to make sure that that doesn't happen now. And I'm going to put them into different enclosures, of course, as soon as this video is over. But they tend to be territorial, more so than the others, and so I tend to keep adult Porcellio hoffmannseggi in smaller groups with a lot of visual barriers and places where they can set up their own territories. Things like egg cartons or small pieces of cork bark or things like that, where they can, the males and the females can stay separate when they need to stay separate, and they seem to do better in smaller groups with lots of opportunities for separation, whereas Porcellio hoffmannseggi black seems to do just fine if they can aggregate together in closer proximity to one another. So both very beautiful isopods, both excellent additions to the hobby, but quite different. If there are other differences that you've noticed, or other differences you've noticed for different localities or different forms of Porcellio hoffmannseggi, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Thank you for watching. I post videos every Friday with live streams and shorts during the week as well. Please feel free to share, rate, comment, and if you haven't already,
subscribe.
And then tap the bell for all notifications so you don't miss my next video.